You know what, I wanted to, we've got a few minutes. BJ is here, King Schultz's grandson, BJ. BJ, are you listening to me?
No, I'm
He's
not.
in Civil Air Patrol. You're a cadet in Civil Air Patrol, right? Could you come up and say a few words? You know, we've had a number of speakers in the last few months talking about what the Coast Guard mission is, what the Coast Guard does, and what, you know, what different missions are. I would like to hear what the,
Did you get that radio turned off? Yeah.
Did they let you fly?
give us about,
Yeah,
come on up here.
Within 10,
Give,
well, 10 feet.
give us about 5 or 6 minutes, a brief review. Come on up.
I'll probably be
the
faster
mic.
than that.
Okay. But give a recap of what the Civil Air Patrol does, and then what you've been able to do.
All right. All right. So how's everybody this
Get to the
afternoon?
microphone, BJ.
All right. Yeah. How is everybody this afternoon?
Great.
Great.
All right. Good to hear. So basically, the Civil Air Patrol is the United States Air Force Auxiliary. It has 3 primary missions, which is emergency services, Civil Air Patrol, aids in search and rescue, and disaster relief operations, where say someone gets lost hiking in the mountains, and it's of importance. Usually it'll be passed up to the Air Force. The Air Force will say, okay, Civil Air Patrol, go take care of it. Go see if you can find the person, and then report it to whoever can evacuate them out of that area. All right. So what will happen is Civil Air Patrol will have some of the most interesting mission aircraft, and by interesting I mean low quality. Sorry. We basically send out Cessnas to look over the area, although they have some nice equipment on those. And they'll look over just to see where it is. We'll take some pictures, and if they find anything, they'll pass it to ground teams, which will go out and find and rescue these people. All right. Second mission of Civil Air Patrol is cadet programs. So what I do. Basically, it's a leadership program based on the structure of that of the actual Air Force, where you kind of learn different leadership skills. You get to progress through ranks, earn awards, etc. It's a very military environment. Recently, I went to the cadet encampment, which is equivalent to basic training of the United States Air Force, enlisted personnel, or ROTC field training, class 4 Air Force Academy training, where they do basic cadet training, etc. And that can get pretty intense, although I was only there for a week, because it's a week-long thing, not 8. So after that, you have aerospace education. So that's probably what a lot of you are going to be like, yes. That's where we learn the basic essence of, first of all, aerospace history, where everything kind of came from the Wright brothers to today, and before the Wright brothers, such as gliders, kites, hot air balloons, where we go and educate the community about the importance of aerospace, why something flies, why it's important that it flies, etc. And also, this may not completely count as aerospace education, but we'll go out and we'll help guard flight lines during stuff like air shows, making sure that nobody in the crowd kind of crosses the deadline, gets chopped up by a prop, etc. Stuff like that. We'll make sure that that's secure.
You know that stuff.
Yep, and we help the Western Museum of Flight with that every once in a while. So, all right. And I'm from the Torrance Squadron, so that's kind of an interesting run-in there. So I'm going to let the meeting proceed. Sorry to get in the way of everything.
We've got any questions for you. Did anyone have any questions about Civil Air Patrol for BJ? I have one question. How old are you?
I have one.
I am 15, so I'm not that old, but
What's the typical age of the cadets?
the cadet age, cadet age limit is actually quite low. You can join at age 12, and you can stay until about age 21.
Wow.
You have the choice at age 18 to transcend into being a senior member, pardon me, bad vocabulary there, where you get to actually do more of the mission-based emergency services stuff, or you can help chaperone cadets, be a medic, etc. All right. Yes, sir.
Are the aircraft privately owned?
There are senior members that use their own aircraft for mission purposes, but usually Civil Air Patrol has its own fleet of corporately owned aircraft.
Wes, did you have a question?
Well, I just wondered, how are you located around the country? Do you have different areas, like you're in California Civil Air Patrol, and is there a New York Air Patrol? And,
Yes, sir. Every state is considered a wing. So you'll have the California wing, New York wing, Pennsylvania wing, alright, which are broken down into different groups, which are broken down into different squadrons. I'm in the Los Angeles Group 1 of the California wing. I am part of the 107th Cadet Squadron. And really, it's just a very... Yes, ma'am.
When you finished doing something like encampment, what does that open up for you to be able to do?
Alright, so at the end of encampment, which I went over earlier, basically a boot camp type environment, you get to do stuff which are, you get to do activities called NCSAs, or National Cadet Special Activities. Those are some of the most interesting things you can do in Civil Air Patrol. You get to do all sorts of different things. You can do Powered Flight Academy, where you can literally get your pilot's license in like 2 weeks, but you're doing kind of a residential type thing. You can do PJOC, which is where you actually get to train with the Air Force PJs. You can do different survival courses, and this is where you get to travel all over the country doing such things. All sorts of different events. I myself did a NCSA type activity before I went to encampment called Cyber Patriot, which is relatively new, and I'm not going to go into details in that, but basically cyber defense stuff, so yeah, computer security.
where do you meet?
My squadron meets at Torrance Airport in a relatively small hangar, too small to actually fit an aircraft. So the city of Torrance said, what the hey, let's give it to these people. So, yes sir.
Have they explained to you what the Civil Air Patrol's activities were in World War II?
Yes sir. For those who also did not know, in World War II, Civil Air Patrol was founded 6 days before Pearl Harbor was bombed. And once that was done, you had different CAP groups going up in their own aircraft, civilian pilots, and they were attacking U-boats that were off the coast of the United States. They were dropping weapons, attacking. A lot of the pilots actually were lost. They did sink 2 U-boats out of 80 some odd U-boats. After that was all over, the Air Force thought these people were nice and interesting, and so after a lot of stuff with Congress officially granted Civil Air Patrol the status of the United States Air Force Auxiliary. So,
And were they enemy U-boats?
I would hope so, sir.
Well, thanks very much, BJ.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Whoops.
We're
good.
Yep.
brought the house down.
Little tight quarters here.
Too tall and too late. Good job.